Prono 6 LA is #1 for hip hop. I am Bryhana, and we have this beautiful young lady, Callie Uchis here. Hello.
Hi, Bryhana.
Hi. I love your hair. I was telling you about that earlier.
Thank you. I love yours.
Thank you. Are you like a switch up type of hair type of person? That's how I am. I love to switch it up depending upon my mood.
Yeah, on a normal day, I usually just wear my real hair, but every once in a while, I want to do a red wig or a colored wig. Sometimes I want to do colored hair, but I don't want to dye my actual hair. So
yeah, we don't want to damage our hair. We don't want to do that.
Wigs are good for that.
Yeah. So how are you feeling? This is my first time meeting you.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Just released, so it's like a nice. It's a relief. Literally, it's a release.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
What is it? What is the process like when creating your music? Do you get anxiety? Do you get excited? Like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I don't ever get anxiety creating. I think the best thing to do is just freely express yourself and don't worry so much about the outcome and just see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, I have another album coming soon as well.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was working on my third and my fourth album around the same time. Like, kind of just interchanging based off of, I feel like I have so much to express inside of me that it's hard to just limit myself to one genre, one language, one whatever.
Yeah.
So it was really helpful for my creative process to be able to have these different pockets of projects that I'm like, oh, I made this, it goes on this project. I made this goes with this project. You know what I'm saying? So it helped me just be free when I was creating. So.
And I was going to ask you, what would you consider your genre of music to be? It's so interesting. I feel like it's in its own lane.
Yeah, I don't consider myself as being a genre-based artist or having a genre.
Right.
I think I just have I'll have a song that's more like oldies, soul. I'll have a song that's more, I'll do reggaeton.
Yeah.
I'll do
rap a little bit.
I don't call it rapping,
Yeah.
but I like the melodic, talky stuff. It's almost like,
Okay.
I've always been really into poetry. I've always been big on poetry since I was little. Won a lot of poetry contests, took it really seriously. I've always been, into that. So I look at it more almost like, dun, 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 dun. I'm doing my little poem. I'm reciting my little poem.
Yes. Okay, so that's how it all started. You were doing poetry.
Well, I've always just been a creative person. That's always been my outlet as a kid. Growing up when I was little, I was always just the little kid that was in the corner singing songs and in her little imaginary
Bubble.
world. Yeah, in my own little world,
Yeah.
creating my own little space. And yeah, so I was in bands. I played saxophone, I played piano, I was in jazz band, I was in alternative bands. I took it really serious. I did poetry contests. I was always into poetry. I was always into writing. I wrote short stories, novels, whatever.
Wow.
But I was never ooh, I'm going to be a singer, because I was always also, I would have bursts of want to entertain people, but most of the time I was very shy. I've always been very introverted.
Okay.
And antisocial. And so I never considered myself somebody who could ever be in the spotlight, or
Wow.
I never would have seen that for myself. So I really wanted to be a music video director or a writer for other artists. I love being able to combine visuals, sonics, and visuals and thematically create a body of work, and that's just been things that I love to do. But the side of it that has to do with the public is the part that for me is not as fun. I mean, it's fun when you get to meet fans and stuff and have real conversations. That's cool. But the part that's I've just always been a shy, antisocial person. So in this industry,
You
it's
gotta
very much
keep up this
play the
facade,
game. Yeah,
right.
play the game, be friends with everybody. Go out, go to this, go to that, and I'm just not that type of person. So I just do it in my own way. You know what I mean? I run my business in my own way, and I try not to make myself feel oh, I have to do this or I have to do that.
Yeah, don't force yourself.
Yeah, no, I don't like to force anything. So
Yeah.
I just I don't feel like I feel like I just do everything in my own way. So,
yeah. So I feel like as too, with you being an artist, you kind of need to be in the public eye. So how do you kind of stray away from that in regards to going out to events and things like that? You kind of just pick and choose? You're very specific?
Yeah, if I really when it goes to something like, for instance, last night we went to a drag show because they're performing my music and it's my album release. So, or like next week we're gonna do an album release party. Like if it feels very essential,
right?
I'll go. But actually my man has been kind of helping me like step out of my box a little bit because he does he has to do like a lot of like club stuff and like whatever. So this is definitely the most that I've ever gone to the club because of him. Because whatever, but I'm not gonna just like be like, oh, okay, I'll wait for y'all and I'm just gonna go back to the hotel. Like I'm just gonna go out with everybody. So I feel like I have gotten a little more open to whatever, going out, whatever, but I just never. I feel like as a kid, I got over the partying stage because I grew up like in the party scene. Like my family, they have clubs in Colombia, and like all my siblings and all my family members, they're like so like party.
Right.
That for me, it like turned me off of it, and and I've always just been very like focused on just like making things and being in my own world and creating. So I always felt like oh, why am I gonna like go out and like waste my time, waste my money, or whatever, like I'm gonna just focus, I'm gonna just stay in, y'all go ahead, la 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 la. That was always me, like when I was like in my late teens, that became my thing of just being like, nah, I'm good. So now that I'm an adult, I'm kind of trying to teach myself to celebrate more.
Right.
Yeah.
So. I feel like too, as women, we don't celebrate ourselves as much because we want to just go on to the next thing. Do you see yourself doing that?
Yeah, most definitely. And then just in general, I feel like, I come from an immigrant family, so like that hustle mentality of feeling like, no, like I'm gonna celebrate when I have something really to celebrate. And then you end up, so much time ends up going by that you realize like, damn, I didn't even take a vacation in the last I don't even know how long, or like, damn, I haven't really. So I think it's good and it's important to celebrate too. So and just have fun and whatever. So yeah, I'm trying to do more of that. But when it comes to industry stuff, for me a lot of times it's not, that's not my idea of fun. So yeah, I don't really go to a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. For me too, so I'm Puerto Rican and my family, they're just always about work. And so like the last time, I was telling my friend yesterday, I haven't been on vacation in 8 years since I went to Puerto Rico. So I understand where you're coming from in regard to just like having that like work mentality. I feel like that's kind of just maybe how the culture is for us. I don't know, Hispanics. I don't know if that's just like what we're used to. So I totally understand that. Yeah.
But I'm more of like a kickback type of person. Like I'm more into like being around genuine connections and having a house party or doing something more like that. Chill. Or going on a trip, eating some good food, going on a trip, doing something fun, doing something adventurous, whatever. That's more my cup of tea than to like be at the club and a bunch of strangers just staring at you and not knowing like if I'm about to have to get into something with somebody or what's going on. It's just so much in the world. I just be wanting to stay away from it all.
Especially in LA. How long have you been out here?
I moved to LA like shortly after I graduated high school.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been it was probably like 2015-ish.
Would you consider yourself like an Angelino now since you've been here for
most definitely
some time?
It definitely feels like home because I don't have family like I partially grew up in VA, like northern VA, right outside of DC, and I don't have family there anymore, so I don't have any real reason to go back besides like see friends from back home. But even most of my friends from back home, like they moved out here or they moved to New York, so I usually just see them anyway. Like,
what do your friends and family say about you now, like just seeing where your success is at?
They're super proud, and the most special thing for me is them being like, being proud of the fact, like never compromising. That's the most special thing to me when they say stuff like that.
That's important.
I feel it makes me proud. So
yeah, don't ever compromise. I love that. Yeah. So I know too you have a great relationship with Don Tolliver and you guys have some collaborations together. So how did that relationship come about?
What, like getting together?
Yeah, just like getting together. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, just, we don't really like to talk about our relationship. We like to keep it private.
Yeah.
But in regards to music, it just felt really natural. I work a lot with people that are, like, in my real life. Like, Omar, that's my friend.
Yeah.
So I think it just came really naturally. It's a special way to connect with each other that, you can't just do with anybody. Like, we'll just turn the mics on and just, like, make music, and it would just be fun. And might not we ever put it out, but it's just a fun, different level of connection. So.
Yeah. So how did you guys like first meet and like get together? Because I feel like too, relationships in the industry, it's kind of hard to trust certain people. So.
No, yeah, he's, what really drew me to him was that he's like me in the sense that he's not really like around like that,
Yeah, like low key.
And I had asked like a lot of my friends and stuff like, oh, what do y'all know about this guy before like meeting up with him, and everybody was like, no, like we don't know anybody that talked to him, we don't know anybody at all.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I didn't see him like, being thirsty like on girls' pages and like da-da-da. I didn't see any of that stuff, so that's what made me initially like, okay, yeah, maybe I will talk to him. But we met in Houston. And then like shortly after he moved to LA, like 10 minutes up the street from me. Like, I want to like pursue a relationship with you. So it happened pretty quickly.
That's cute.
And just been together ever since. Now we live together. So.
Good. So do you still get excited when you hear your music on the radio?
I would say yeah. We don't, like, honestly, we don't ever expect it. When it happens, we are shocked.
Wow. Still?
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm so surprised by that.
Yeah, because I don't feel like I make like radio music. Like even Telepatia, when it blew up, like my label was like, oh, we have to put reggaeton drums on it for them to play it. And I was like, okay, fuck it. I guess they don't need to play it then, because I'm not going to make a whole new version of my song just to go to radio.
Yeah.
And for me, what was special about the song was it was, projecting Latin music in like a way that people weren't hearing on the radio at the time and whatever. And so I didn't want to do that, and they ended up taking it anyway, and people ended up playing it on the radio anyway, so that was cool.
And how do you feel about that, too, that we're playing more, like, Latin music on the radio, and not just, like, top 40? We're a hip-hop station, so we're playing it, and I think that's amazing that you're on so many different genres and platforms, so.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm always just humbled and shocked by support at all, because... I don't know. It's a dream for me. Like I didn't grow up with support or like that. Like, oh yeah, like yeah, do it. Like even like back home, like in the DMV, it's very much like people only support you to like a certain extent. It's very much like people kind of end up all just looking at each other like, oh, they're not gonna. It's a little bit like haterish. And
why do you think that is?
I think it's just people. I think when people hate, it's just projection. Like they want to get out of the city, or like they had dreams to get out of the city, and they're like, oh, you're never gonna. They try to like put it on each other. Like, oh, nah, don't even da 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 da. Like, they try to project that fear that they have for themselves that they can't do it onto you.
Insecurities.
Yeah, but that's pretty normal. So. That was a big part of the reason why I moved to LA, was because I felt like so much more support in LA, like in general. Like everybody who wanted to work with me and was reaching out to me was from out here, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna go where the love is, I'm gonna go where the work is.
Is that how the friendship between you and Tyler came about?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Tyler reached out to me on Twitter, and he was just like, oh, I love this song and whatever, like I love your music, we need to get in. And at the time I had just started traveling to LA here and there, so I was like, okay, next time I'm there we'll get in the studio, and so it just happened naturally.
I feel like solid relationships in LA are very valuable, because they are very hard to come by, especially in the industry. So that's amazing that you have that close-knit like group of friends and family. That's amazing. Yeah,
most definitely. I keep my circle small, but every once in a while you do find people that they are super genuine, and and I value those connections.
Is there anyone that's like reached out to you or slid in your DMs that you were surprised that like just said like I love your music, or they want to work with you?
Yeah, I'm always surprised. I'm always surprised. Anytime I don't check my messages.
Okay.
I don't check my DMs, like my verified DMs or whatever. I don't check them. But the last times when I used to check them, I would always be like, what is this person doing here? What is that? All the time. I was always genuinely shocked, but yeah.
Yeah, dope. Well, what do you want your fans to feel when they hear this album? I know you have another album you said coming soon, but like as far as this one, like what is the vibe that you want them to feel?
Yeah, this album was all about just love, really. This album was just about contributing more beauty and more love to the world. And yeah, just anyone who might feel alone, anyone who might feel like they're missing something a little bit more soulful, I feel like this is for that.
Yeah. Did you feel like, seeing your songs on TikTok, did you get like a crazy reaction when you saw them blow up? Because honestly, like that's really how I like found out about your music was TikTok. Yeah.
That's so cool to me because like it's a lot of people who will look at that as like they'll be like, oh, TikTok music,
Yeah.
blah, blah. But at the end of the day, this is right now the platform that is helping circulate more music than any other platform, and this
really
is a huge asset to independent artists, to artists that don't have access to those huge marketing budgets, those huge promotional budgets, that don't have labels or don't have whatever. And so I think it's a beautiful thing. For me, I was really excited like when I first seen that people were sharing it, because it's like, for me, it's more like for the people. It's like something could just authentically go up rather than like a label like putting all this money into a song, or someone having this like massive debut being put all over these billboards and all over this whatever. This is more like the people are choosing what is the next thing. So I think it's awesome.
Yeah, as it should be. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you so much for stopping by. I love your music, love your vibe. You're beautiful. And before we get out of here, is there anything that you want to tell your fans, like who look up to you, or just maybe like need that little strength and guidance to like get them through?
Yeah, I would tell anybody who's going through something right now, I would tell them to just stay strong, look at the bigger picture. I feel like that's always so important. That's always what has helped me get through like the lowest times in my life, is to just take a step back, look at the big picture of everything. The bigger picture is always, what everything else is temporary for me. So yeah.
Well, thanks, girl. I appreciate you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
It's Power 6. Let's get it.